Welcome to the Real Marty Report. Well, I am so excited about talking about this next subject today. It's not really about the car business, it's about business in general. And the subject today is about general holiday pay in Alberta. I can't understand, for the love of Pete, why our provincial government has made these changes to general holiday pay. Now, if I look back in my career, or even when I was more as a young child, my parents would always say, mostly my mom actually, my dad was a little bit judgmental, but my mom would say, Marty, people don't wake up to do a bad job. They don't wake up and want to do something wrong. What you need to do is you need to seek to understand before you seek to be understood. Now, once you do that, you give them the information you have and maybe you can figure something out together, because usually people don't try to make bad decisions. So for this, I think we have to go to the classroom. I've done all the understanding I can do, and I would just hope that someone in Edmonton would actually listen to this and try and help me understand why you made these changes to general holiday pay. Welcome to Small Business 101. Now, before I can actually talk about 2018 general holiday pay, I think we have to revisit what happened in 2017, because we had general holiday pay as well then. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our detail business. Now we have a detail business in Calgary at our dealership. We have one in Cochrane and we have one in Fort McMurray where we're videoing from right now. And in Calgary and Cochrane, these changes don't make that big a difference to those businesses because we are not open on the 9 general holidays throughout the year. So Labor Day, everybody seems to understand. So what I want to take you through now is what happens in Labor Day 2017 in Fort McMurray, and this is what happened not only in 2017, but also in all the years we've been open extended hours, which is over 10 years now. This is what happened during general holiday pay in our detail department. Now this does expand out to mechanics and so on, but we don't want to have this be a 20-minute video. I've already kept you long enough, so here goes. We have Jimmy the detailer. And Jimmy the detailer on Labor Day 2017 got paid $25 an hour because that's what he averaged on his flat rate time leading up to that day. Now when Jimmy comes in, minimum wage at that time was $12.20 an hour, and he works. The worst case scenario for Jimmy is he gets paid 1.5 times that is $18.30. Now, if Jimmy had stayed home, he also gets paid $25 an hour to do that. So we add all this up, Jimmy, who normally makes $25 an hour, on this day gets $68.30 an hour. Now, Jimmy was scheduled to work that Monday because he works 7 on, 7 off. But Jimmy has a cross shift named Billy. And Billy wasn't scheduled to work that day, so he couldn't come into work. So we have 5 detail bays in Fort McMurray. I have 4 detailers that work 7 on, 7 off. And I have another 4 dealers, which are called cross shift people that work 7 on, 7 off. So even though Jimmy is at work that day, Billy, I can't even bring him in anyway because I got no room for him. So Billy didn't get paid anything, but Billy wasn't hurt because he was not scheduled to work that day. Now, Jimmy can't write work orders. We need a service advisor for that. So we have Jill. Jill's a service advisor, and Jill gets paid $40 an hour. Now, she gets paid $40 an hour if I asked her to sit at the beach that day, but because she comes in, she gets time and a half. So she gets not only $40 an hour for sitting at home, but she also gets time and a half for coming in, which is another $60. So what actually Jill gets on general holiday is $100 an hour. Now, Steve, her cross shift, which by the way, he couldn't come in that day, he's not scheduled, I got no room for him, he got paid $0, but he wasn't hurt because he's not scheduled till the Monday after Labor Day. Now, we need someone who's a coordinator. A coordinator comes in and they have to do the cashiering, they have to be able to phone customers back, be able to tell them if their vehicle's ready. Now, Johnny comes in and he does that job for us, and if he sits at home, he's $35 an hour. But because we're asking him to work on the general holiday, he gets paid time and a half as well, is $52.50, so he gets paid $87.50 an hour. Now, not including heat, not including chemicals, not including water, any of that stuff, right? But my labor cost is $255.80 an hour, Labor Day 2017. I have 4 detailers in and we charge $90 an hour for our detail services. So the maximum revenue I could get is $360 an hour. But I'm going to tell you folks, not all the time are you booked 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're booked about 70% of the time in our detail department. So I actually get about an average of $252.80 of real revenue, I'll call it. My labor cost is $255.80, so I'm losing about $3 an hour on general holiday in 2017, not including any other fixed expenses. But at this point, to be able to offer 7-day-a-week service, also I have people that love this shift because they get 7 days on, 7 days off, whatever, that's fine, and that's the way we've been rolling, and we're okay with that. Now, let's go over to see what happens in 2018. Remember Jimmy the detailer? Well, Jimmy's minimum wage is going up a little bit to $13.60. Now, I do not want to make this about minimum wage. I'm okay with that. He now gets $70.40 an hour if I'm open. But now what happens, Billy, who actually can't even come to work anyway, who's not scheduled till the following Monday, but if he came in, I don't even have room for him, I have to pay him $25 an hour to sit on the couch. Jill, the service advisor who's getting $100 an hour, that still happens as well. But Steve, her cross shift, who can't come in anyway because I got no spot for him, I have to pay him $40 an hour. Johnny, who gets $87.50, who's again our coordinator, he's going to get that. And Susie, his cross shift, who can't come in anyway because I don't have room for them, I got to pay her $35 an hour. So remember on the board over there, my cost was $255.80 in labor cost. What this general holiday has done is they put my labor costs up $100 an hour. So I'm $355.80 an hour is my new cost on Labor Day. And unless I'm going to talk customers into paying me, like, I don't know, double on that day, which they would say, Marty, I think you should maybe quit smoking that stuff you're smoking, I'm still only going to get $252.80 in revenue. $252 in revenue minus $355 in labor costs. I mean, I get the privilege to be open for $103 an hour loss. Now, don't feel sorry for me. Here's the thing, is that I believe that when someone in Edmonton sees this, they're gonna see the error of their ways. So we're not changing anything. We're still gonna be open 7 days a week. One of the two things that's gonna happen is that I believe the NDP will change this rule once they actually get the information. Or if the UCP wins, I believe they will change it, okay? So we're going to roll along till April 2019 and see what happens. And I think the NDP actually will change it before then. Because if this continues on, guess what's going to happen? In May of 2019, what will probably happen is North Star Ford will no longer be open on general holiday pays because I don't want to lose $103 an hour. Now, guess what this also does? This will reduce my income. So now the NDP can't tax the big bad business guy as much because I'm going to have losses. I was only making $3 an hour before, losing $3 an hour. Now I'm going to lose 103, so my other 6 days a week that we make money, you're not going to get as much tax. But let's forget about me, okay? Here's the people this really hurts. Jimmy, Jill, and Susie, by the way, remember the people that were making $100 an hour or $87.50, and if I close down on those days, basically the three of those people go home that day with an extra $2,300 in their pocket, which averages out to $766 a day. That's what they make working those general holidays. Well, guess what? That is now going to go to nothing. And if we take $766 and times it by 9 general holidays a year, each one of those individuals, if they worked every holiday day, is losing $6,894 a year. Albertans can't lose that money, and guess what, Alberta government? You can't tax it at 30%. So that employee who wants to work those hours and get 70% of that money for themselves and say give 30% to you, they can't give it to you anymore. So not only have you actually reduced what I pay you in tax, you've actually taken the middle class, you've reduced their amount of money, and they can't pay tax. I'm more than happy to meet with anybody from any party on this. 791-7911, area code 780, ask for Marty, and let's talk about this before this continues on and we do some real damage to real people in this province.